Welcome to Warblog. This is probably about my 5th attempt at this video because it's a combined video. I'm going to do this again. This Qantara and Firdan scenario. But the thing is, if you watch that other video, everything was slow. Now it's all speeded up now because I've moved the server. I had a bit of an argument with the current host who seemed completely to deny. Look at it, they just sprung right up. They seem to deny that it was going slow. I looked at some of those videos and it was taking 35 seconds to process that attack form when it should take just a second. They're completely denying that their servers are really performing badly because they're never used to it. They're quite capable of doing it, but so I've moved it to another host, and you know, there's nothing particularly demanding about this. But I'm just going to get back into it. I've made some changes. There's the artillery road. I've got more frontline units. So what we got here is Fort Milano, Fort Mifraket, Fort Hisayon, Fort Perkan, and I've stuffed them full of units, so it's going to be tougher. And to be quite honest, I might make the Egyptians tougher as well. I haven't really, but they have got some amphibious units. Not really sure what the point of the amphibious units is really, because there's not, I mean, unless you can get to that hex. Because if you move into any of these hexes, you'll probably be attacked. So anyway, I'm not sure how to do this. And obviously I know the gameplay. But as a quick demonstration, I think the thing to consider is that yes, these forts make it tougher, but actually also make it easier. And the reason being is this hex, if I can get into that hex, it's got no mines, it's got no obstacles. If I can get into there, I can swarm across, whereas each one of these I was getting stuck. And they're really not much tougher. So I'm going to start off with, now this is 2J, 2D. I'll do this lot first. The instant, do you see that? Instant. We were waiting 35 seconds, and that was just a random one. There's probably more that were longer. Look, 35 seconds compared to instant. It's really made me quite angry really, because it has a knock-on effect. And people see these videos and think your game's rubbish. And they're just sitting there completely denying, you know, I can't even begin to go into the things they were saying. Just completely denying that, you know, the server was, and the Dell servers, both hosts use Dell servers. I think that they were, to be quite honest, that they were targeting me because it's a war game. And one of their support tickets they'd say, we're trying to put ourselves in your shoes. Well, you know, making this last 30 seconds seems a pretty good way of frustrating me. So anyway, we've done that. So we're trying to sort of whittle this down, but I sort of want to spread it a bit. So this is 2J. So let's put 2J onto that one. So it's going to be this one here, I think. He's at 2J. No. This one, yeah, 2J. I think there's next to a 2J. Now the thing is, it does it in descending order. So because the artillery is at the bottom, these are the ones, they get like full whack. He can only have 90% damage of what is rolled. There's diminishing returns as you go down, and if there were 5 units in there, you couldn't get the 5th one. It might appear in the list, but you couldn't hit it with artillery. However, we do have these sort of rocket launchers. I feel a bit mean The thing is, I think I'm going to put my attacks into these units. What? You want? Yeah. I don't actually own a cat. This is a stray cat. But it's one of the stray ones that has found a way to get into my house. You know how to get into my house, don't you? Come back and all these sausages have been eaten. I think I'm going to... See, I don't know what to do. But one thing, you see, I want to play it sort of properly. And in playing it properly, I sort of want to target a lot of their artillery. What? Their YouTube star. You come to the right place. Okay. 2p. A lot of the cats that you're not rolling fair. My cat cheats. A lot of the cats that I get involved with die. One of them's actually only got 3 legs. They get born under the house, and then things try to eat them. But that cat is actually still around. It's been around for 3 years. But the one I got, Ginger, I call it chipboard brown because it looks like chipboard. It lies on a bed of chipboard. They've got flooring and it looks like chipboard. I don't like Ginger. But anyway, he looks just like another one that was born from the same mother, but about 6 months different, maybe a year. And the other one was exactly the same temperament, but just vanished. They do that. They just vanish. Probably get run over. And there's virtually no difference between them. They're almost identical. They both sit around. They've both got claws. The other one had claws. And there are other ones from the same litter that won't come within 10 yards of me. One seems to be very friendly. It comes in and it wants to stick its claws into you. Sorry. I've no idea what I'm doing now. I know, I'm going to give it some food. Maybe that will shut it up. 2p. On the Saga of the Cat, I've just given it some food and it seems to have gone away. Well, it's over there eating. Maybe that's what it wanted. Not much. Not really into sort of really truly understanding how these things work. 2p. Look at that. This is bad. Okay. I want to spread it along because I sort of don't want to commit myself. So there's artillery. This one can go for that. This one can go for that. And this one can go for that. But there's more. So this one, I guess, can go for that. So 3s. Regarding the speed of the server, I mean, all said and done, I still actually have plans once the site gets busy to actually move it to a proper server. I mean, I can do that. No, that's really not a problem. You know, like a VPS, something like that. 3AC. So this is not really sort of a big issue on that sort of ground. These will probably appear down there next. But, yeah, it's all a bit, I don't know. I think it's big. Yeah, I don't know. No effect. So these ones are going to go for that. So that's 3W. Now I'm sort of doing this because I sort of want to play a little role play in the sense that I want to sort of play as though I'm not giving my cards away as to where I'm going to cross. Now, 2.80. So what I'm going to do, this is what makes it a lot easier. Some engineers there, infantry there, and I could cross there next turn into that port. So I'm going to put some air power on that. I'm going to be getting the artillery, but obviously not doing that very well. I was reading the book, wherever it is, and it was mentioning that, you know, as these artillery strikes were coming down, the commanding officer in one of these sort of forts is saying it's probably as near to Lenin, the experience they had in Leningrad, as you could possibly get. You know, all the ground was shaking. Apparently they didn't suffer too many casualties because they were well entrenched. And I think, you know, no matter how fierce things are, unless you actually get a direct hit, you know, you're only going to really suffer the size of the crater itself. So if it's like a 3 or 4 meter crater, well, fair enough, you're probably going to be caught up in there. But outside of that, it's only the sound that's going to get you. More engineers there. Some engineers in there. Where are those other engineers? Okay, so we've got some engineers there, but I don't really want to move them somewhere like that. Well, We could throw up a bridge next turn. Unless I can get some infantry in there, which I can't. Okay, so that's most of that stuff moved up. I think I'm going to try and get these engineers along the road. So, what do we got anti-tank wise? That's strange, they don't seem to be able to attack, even though they've moved, haven't they? That's interesting. Right. So we've got a fair amount of air power. So where can we cross here? It's the same sort of story really, but we might be better off trying to cross into there. We had to build a bridge next turn, but also threaten. Okay, we've got engineers here. We're just cramming everyone in there, really. Okay, what can we do with these things? One minute. 2.8. Had food. No, I'm an idiot. I'm going to go for that. So we've got 4 onto this. Huh, look at that. Okay, so what else is going to be worth attacking? Now, I think what I might do is go for this armoured unit, this armoured section here with the rest. Because while it's outside of these fortifications, the one thing I sort of wanted to do last time. Got something aborted. Not particularly impressive. That's because he's stacked up with air defense, look. 0.3, 1.5. I didn't notice that. I thought it was a stack of 3. He's got air defense in there. I've got 1 left. I wonder if that's a glitch. 1.6, 1.2. So that's all our indirect area fire and all the movement. So now this is where my strategy is going to change slightly. The 2 things I wanted to do last time, other than for things to sort of happen in a reasonable timescale, was to do anti-counter battery fire. Now obviously he's attacking my artillery, or obviously Egypt's attacking Israeli artillery, so we're going to do the same back. Well, let's just go back and who is this? 3D. So we hit the artillery. Four 4.1, 3.2. Okay, is it going to be worth trying to concentrate that fire? The next artillery position is there. So let's concentrate 3J onto that. 3J, 3J. Okay, this lot, put onto that. Let's just make sure we're sort of in range. Who is this? 4P. Okay, obviously I'll go back up the line in a bit, but this stuff against that. So this is 4Y. I think properly I'd have to sort of plan it, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, and let's put this stuff, all of this, so that's 3AD, 4AE, so that, and 4AE, 6.6, 3.8, 3.2. Okay, so we've sort of gone down the line with the major stuff. The two forts are fired. They've got this sort of incidental stuff. We've got some artillery here. We've got two lots there. One lot in there. Now, did this take any fire? Yes, did that? No. I'm going to fire whatever I can now onto that. Three, 1.6, 3.5. Any more artillery? There's some there, so what have we got? Some artillery in there, so let's fire this lot onto that and anything else that's in range. So there's two lots in range there. Two 2.6, 4.7, 2, 4, 2.1, 0, 0. Okay, now that's all the artillery. Now, movement-wise, you see, for example, I've got some here, look. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can't really attack much, but we could possibly put him against that stack there, or maybe this stack here. I think I'm going to go for this stack. That worked. Okay. 1.2 against their engineers. Now, so I'm focusing on counter battery fire for the Israelis, but what I'm also going to do is to start moving everything along. So he can go into there, he can go into there, there, there. Maybe I should move that artillery up next turn. So I'm trying to shuffle things along. See, there's no sign of these guys reinforcing there, but that looks like a sensitive hex. Let's just reload. Look at that instant, none of this dot matrix map building. Now that's full, but it's not very strong. He's not going to get attacked next turn, but really want to start to think about shuffling things forward. I'll leave those there just for sake of it. Now there's 4 in there. The reason I put artillery in them is because if you were to go around, they would be quite formidable. You've got to take them out. Commit all these guys to this sort of section here. And I'm going to bring him along as a reserve. Oh, I'm just going to plonk him in there. So he doesn't look like he's really going to be up to much. So there's 4 in there and 4 in there. Put him in there. Push him along. Push him along. Him along. Him along there. Him into there. So what I'm going to try and do is almost, that might be empty. It depends. We're still going to consider it, but I'm trying to sort of balance everything up against where I think the fight is going to come, with the intention of holding out for 7 turns. So that's that. And it's only 30 minutes. It took us an hour to do it last time, and that's because the server was slow. This guy, no point in him being there. But we can't move him yet. Okay. Right, so where do these Egyptians want to cross? So this is sort of where they have to really commit themselves, and losing the artillery could be a problem for them. Now, fortunately, these aren't really that massive, these forts. So 4.5, 1.9, 2.8, 0. So we'll commit 2D in that direction first, because I'm probably going to go there. 2D. And these ones I think what we've got here is a sort of 8.4, 4.2 is a sort of a similar situation to what I was talking about in the other videos on this. That you can't really surprise when we've built up there, we've built up our forces. It's not as though we can suddenly just move here and go into that. Well, we could. We'd be moving to the zone of control. You know, it's pretty obvious that we're going to go into that hex or that hex. In fact, they didn't reinforce that hex. It's got mines in it. We could just go straight in there. But what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to put 4. See, what I want to do, I just don't want to sort of say, oh, I just use all my air power, because I feel like that's cheating. I feel like, you know, any sort of serious way of playing the game, and I do like to play in a pseudo-serious way, would have you allocating things in a sensible manner, distributed across the battlefield where relevant. And you could sort of concentrate everything, because historically they concentrated on the anti-aircraft first. You know, that's what they did. But I'm not seeing that as a priority because they don't seem to be that effective. But they are to some extent. You know, lost two lots of Egyptian, you know, air power last time to anti-aircraft. But it's this counter battery stuff that's, you know, doing me. But so in the sense of playing sensibly, I'm only going to put 4 into any one. In fact, I could put a rule in, but it wouldn't ever work. To limit the number of airstrikes you could have on one target. Because what I'm hoping for is that. Exactly that. Right. 4.4, 4.6. And the last one. Oh, it was aborted by the air defense. Right. But the thing is, I don't know. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to deploy this engineering unit for a bridge into the northeastern sector. Now, the way I see these bridges working, they're not just bridges; they're bridge crossing points. So in this instance, I mean, they're all my rules are all a bit flexible, and the philosophy is sort of twisted to suit the purpose. But, you know, these could be engineers that basically what they were doing was transporting 1,500 small boats to this point, and that's what they're doing there. They haven't actually built a bridge. Although it stayed there for a long time, and you could say it was, you know, I'm sort of saying, well, you could say that that's what's happening here. So the engineers have basically brought all these boats across, and now we've got a point into Fort Milano. We've well and truly pounded it with artillery. We've given it a good go with the air power. We've built up a sizable ground attack force, and we're going to go for it. Now, the one thing we've got to bear in mind, and this is really important, is that I want to be able to move in there afterwards. So the question is, how do I do this? Because I've got 2 motorized units in there. I can move 2 of these units out to there, moving these engineers across to there. What I want to do, I'm going to move 2 units out, and I'm going to move them there. Move this guy into there. I'm going to attack. Now, they're at 5, 6. They're going to be worth basically 1. They're going to be worth about 4. So we're going to be a 2, possibly a 4 to 1 here. Possibly a 4 or 5 to 1 because we've got mechanized, but we're going over a bridge. So it might be a 2 or 3 to 1. I'm just guessing here. Now, I could commit more artillery, but I sort of want to play it properly. So I'm going to press the button. Oh, 2-1. Now, the reason I sort of did it like that was because I sort of want to play it properly. But we've now got the next lot of whatever we've got. This artillery, which is 2J, onto this prepared assault. So instead of spending everything on that, we split it properly and sort of almost role-playing it a little bit. Not massively, because I don't want to sort of be too sort of strict like that, but I think it makes better sense. It's a discipline, really, that the younger me would never have had. I would have always wanted to sort of make sure I got it and plonk everything in there like an idiot, and it wouldn't be... It's just a twisting of the rules. Or I think if you're playing this game to sort of try and get a bit more of a sense of whatever out of it, if you lose, it doesn't matter. You're building these attacks up, and to me that makes a little more sense. I know that I could have really done more on that counter-wise to make sure I got a bit more than the 2-1, but that felt better. And it could have gone in there. 2-1 could have been a victory, and then I could have moved my mechanised units over the bridgehead into that fort. But the Israelis put up a brave defence, and they thwarted the attack. There was no twisting of the counters to get that. What have we got? Oh, here we're out next turn, hopefully. Oh, not the one I was hoping. So he'll probably rout. So we're having an effect there. I'm going to put 4 aircraft again onto that, which is going to weaken the southern sector a little, but in the sense of role play again, I'm just doing it like this. So we've routed that artillery. Okay, so they've got half a point there, and about 1.5 there, 2.5. What can we get across into that hex? Well, that's interesting because we haven't actually got a bridgehead yet. And we've got 2 engineers. So in the first instance, we'll use these engineers to go northeast. And these engineers to go southeast. No. Oh, it doesn't seem to be working. That's such a pain because they're amphibious engineers and they haven't been configured. They're not configured. That is a pain. But we've got plenty of anti-tank. I think it's because he's moved and this one hasn't. Might be able to move him across the river though. 1 to 1, we've got a roll of 1 and then push them back, and he at least can get across the river. Don't guess he expect. No. Well, we've got our amphibious engineers in there, in that fort. We'll probably lose them next turn. Right. So down here, I'm going to apply 3W against this hex here. What I might do, because I'm at 48 minutes, I might cheat and reset. Well, I don't have to actually cheat. I just have to reconfigure the rules. In actual fact, I can do that now. I think I can. I'm going to do that. I'm not reconfiguring the rules. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and see if I can get these. I see I spoiled it now because they can't move, but we've got engineers here, you see, and engineers there. If I can go in and put the configuration so that they can actually activate, then activate and build a bridge, that will help. So I'm going to put it on pause. We've got 12 minutes. Okay, I think I've well, let's see whether I've done it. I should have thought of that before. So we're preparing 2 bridgeheads against this fort. I'm going to put 3 air power in there. There is a possibility that I'm going back to the old server on this, but maybe not. It's still pretty tough in there. So I'm going to push everything I can apart from 1 unit. Let's just make sure that your one unit is that one there. It's got movement. So the 120th, which is the only infantry unit. There's two of them. Basically, as long as I don't use all of them. So we use him, but not him. And these. But before we do that, I think we're justified in firing some of this artillery. Those ones there. Oh, that's good. So this was 1, 1.5, 2. So use all of this apart from him. Look at that, 12. So we've managed to get some. We could have done that back there, that would have been nice. Can't build a bridge, can he? No. It's because he's moved. Okay, all the other artillery onto that. But is that where I want to attack? Because I think that I want to be attacking into there. Like a sneak attack. See, what I've been doing here, deliberately almost, I've got to keep an eye on the time, 0.1, 2.1, it's not good, is spreading the attacks along the line, essentially on all the forts, almost sort of semi-historically, because I don't know how this actually went. But at this rate, we're not going to get across there. So much so that I'm not even going to try and attack. Actually, it might be worth it. We've got some engineers. Yeah, I'll go for it. Southeast. I can hear my hard drive going, and I was just thinking how I thought it was my hard drive that was making it go slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move that out, and that out. Someone go, does he? Okay, I'm just going to have to commit it like this. Ha! A 1-to-1. Actually, I could have committed that other unit, because if they'd won, the mechanised unit would have still been able to roll. Look at that, we've actually done it. Brilliant. Okay, what's 57? So we've got one extra half turn done, because the game's moving a bit faster. We've got a slightly different strategy. We've managed to get one beachhead, well, two. I don't really think that counts because that's going to get pulverised. So made a bit of a mistake there. Maybe nice to do it again. I'm not going to. But I think it'd be interesting to see how the counter battery fire adds up over time. Yeah. I'll probably name this something different so that it's clear. And I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.